Hey everyone, welcome back to MD Extra Coins, the channel where the world's rarest coins come to life, and where every piece of metal might just hold a fortune. If you're new here, make sure to watch till the end, because today's story is one of the most unbelievable coin mysteries ever recorded. We are talking about the one-pfennig coin from 1987, a small copper-colored piece from Germany that some collectors claim is worth $980,000. Yes, you heard that right. Almost $1 million for a single coin that once had the value of less than US $1. How could this happen? How can a coin so small, so ordinary, be worth the price of a luxury home? The answer lies in a story that mixes history, economics, and a bit of mystery that no one has been able to fully explain. In the late 1980s, West Germany was a country standing between two worlds. But tensions still ran high. The Deutsche Mark was the symbol of stability and power. Every German carried pfennigs and marks in their pockets. The one-pfennig coin was the smallest denomination, so small that many people ignored it or left it lying on tables, in drawers, or under car seats. But in 1987, something unusual happened in one of the German mints, something that would turn one of those tiny coins into one of the rarest and most talked about collectibles in the world. Back then, Germany had several mints: Berlin, Munich, Stuttgart, Karlsruhe, and Hamburg. Each mint used a small letter to identify its coins. For example, D meant Munich, F meant Stuttgart, G was Karlsruhe, and J was Hamburg. The 1987 one-pfennig coins were produced by these mints as usual, but a small number of them were struck on experimental blanks, known as planchets, that were never supposed to be used in public circulation. These blanks were made of a slightly different metal composition, a copper zinc alloy that gave the coin a golden hue instead of the usual reddish-brown color. These test coins were supposed to be melted down after inspection, but something went wrong. A small number of those test strikes left the mint unnoticed. Nobody knows exactly how. Some believe they were taken accidentally in rolls mixed with regular coins. Others claim an employee may have intentionally let them slip away, realizing their potential rarity. Whatever the reason, a few of those coins ended up in circulation, and for decades, nobody noticed. It wasn't until the early 2000s that collectors began to whisper about a strange 1987 one-pfennig coin that looked a bit too shiny, a bit too golden. People started posting photos online, and the mystery grew. One collector from Hamburg, using the online name Kronenjäger, claimed he found one in an old box of coins left by his grandfather, who had worked at the mint during the 1980s. He noticed something odd. The coin felt heavier, its edge smoother, and under the light, it didn't look copper red but more like a faded gold. He took it to a local dealer who couldn't identify it and advised him to send it to a German numismatic laboratory. But before that could happen, the collector disappeared from the online forums. His profile vanished, and no one heard from him again. Some said he sold the coins secretly to a private collector in the US for close to $1 million. Others believe the coin was confiscated when he tried to authenticate it because of its mysterious origin. As word spread, curiosity turned into obsession. By 2010, several coin hunters in Europe and America began searching old German coin jars and antique markets, looking for the golden-toned 1987 pfennig. Some claimed to have found them, but when experts examined those coins, they turned out to be regular pfennigs cleaned with chemicals or plated with brass. The real one, the authentic experimental coin, remained elusive. Auction houses like Heritage and Stack's Bowers started receiving anonymous inquiries asking how much a 1987 one-pfennig coin with unusual coloration might be worth. When one such inquiry mentioned the coin's composition, an alloy similar to test strikes from 1986 prototypes, the numismatists became intrigued. Why would a simple test coin be worth nearly $1 million? The answer lies in rarity, history, and the collector's psychology. In the coin world, rarity is everything. When only a few pieces exist, their value can skyrocket. The US 1943 copper penny, for example, was an accidental minting when a few copper planchets were used instead of steel during World War II. Only about 20 of those coins are known to exist today, and each one is worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. The same principle applies to the 1987 pfennig, except that the details are even murkier. No official records exist of any test coins minted that year. The German Federal Bank has no documentation of an alternate metal batch. And yet, physical evidence, at least according to a few numismatists, does exist. That's what makes this coin so controversial and so valuable. Experts speculate that this coin was part of an internal test for the upcoming redesign of German coins before reunification in 1990. The test involved new materials meant to resist corrosion and magnetic interference, preparing for machine automation. A few test batches were struck in 1987 and 1988, but again, they were never meant to leave the mint. The existence of even one outside the facility could imply a breach, or something more deliberate. Some collectors believe this coin wasn't an accident at all, but a secret project connected to the economic transition that would follow the fall of the Berlin Wall. The value, therefore, isn't just in its rarity, but in the story it represents. In the early 2010s, a US collector reportedly bought a coin matching the description from an undisclosed source in Europe. The deal, according to online rumors, took place privately for an astonishing $980,000. The buyer's name was never released. Some claim it was purchased by a private numismatic investor from Texas. Others say it was acquired by a museum researcher studying minting errors. No official record. Its authenticity reached coin forums, igniting heated debates. Could it really be worth that much? Was it even real? Or was this another elaborate hoax meant to inflate market interest? To understand why collectors might pay such a sum, you have to understand how passion drives the numismatic world. For serious collectors, it's not just about metal, it's about legacy, about owning a piece of history that no one else has. The thrill of holding something unique, something the government doesn't even acknowledge, can be priceless. Combine that with the Cold War intrigue, the secrecy of the German mints, and the fact that no one truly knows how many of these exist, and you have the perfect recipe for obsession. Every collector dreams of that 1 in a billion discovery. For some, it's a 1943 copper penny. For others, it's the 1987 one-pfennig, the coin that shouldn't exist. As you listen to this, think about it. How many times have you ignored a coin on the ground, thinking it was worthless? How many pieces of history have slipped through human hands without anyone realizing their true value? The story of the 1987 one-pfennig isn't just about a coin. It's a reminder that even the smallest, most ordinary things can hide extraordinary stories. Somewhere out there, maybe in an old jar or forgotten wallet, another golden pfennig might still be waiting to be found. And if it ever surfaces, the world of coin collecting will never be the same again. The mystery of the 1987 one-pfennig coin only grew deeper after the rumors of that million-dollar sale. Some collectors dismissed it as a hoax, while others began digging into old archives, mint reports, and even newspaper clippings from the late 80s, trying to find a single line of evidence that could prove the coin's existence. Most official documents simply listed production numbers, metal compositions, and shipping logs. None of them mentioned any experimental issues. Yet a few retired mint employees quietly hinted that during 1987 there were indeed quality control problems due to machinery upgrades. One former technician claimed that a small batch of coins had to be restruck because the metal blanks were reacting differently to the dies. He couldn't recall the exact number, but his statement was enough to reignite speculation that a handful of those off-metal coins might have survived. The secrecy around it only fueled the legend further. Across the Atlantic, American numismatists were now paying attention. The story had the perfect ingredients for a collector's obsession: a Cold War-era artifact, an unexplained minting anomaly, and a price tag that sounded impossible. Coin magazines began publishing articles with dramatic titles like "The Pfennig That Shouldn't Exist" and "Germany's Hidden Gold." Some writers compared it to the mysterious 1913 Liberty Head nickel from the US, a coin that was also produced unofficially and later became worth millions. The parallels were too strong to ignore. Could Germany have its own version of a forbidden coin? Could the 1987 pfennig be Europe's answer to America's rarest treasures? The fascination soon turned into investigation. In 2014, a private numismatic lab in Switzerland received a coin for testing that allegedly matched the description of the 1987 pfennig anomaly. The coin arrived anonymously, shipped from an address in northern Germany, with no name or sender. The lab performed non-destructive X-ray fluorescence analysis to test the metal composition. The results stunned them. The sample was not made of standard copper-plated steel. Instead, it contained traces of zinc and a higher copper content consistent with the test alloys used in mint experiments of the mid-1980s. It was authentic metal, but no official German record matched it. The coin was returned to the sender, and the lab never heard from them again. But one of the technicians leaked the data online, and within days, the numismatic world went into chaos. Collectors everywhere were now certain the 1987 test pfennig was real. But how many existed? Some claimed fewer than 5. Others said maybe a dozen. Without official confirmation, the number was anyone's guess. What made it even more mysterious was the fact that no photographs were publicly verified. Every image that appeared online was either blurred, cropped, or disappeared after a few days. Some claimed this was due to copyright issues. Others whispered of something stranger, that private. Collectors who owned the coin wanted to keep it secret, believing that public exposure would attract legal trouble or counterfeiters. Whatever the reason, the coin's invisibility made it even more legendary. The fewer people who could prove it, the more people wanted to believe it.